active on the other side to keep the legs loose as well, get the blood flowing. This is a best-of-5 match again. We only see best-of-5 doubles matches until the World Tour Grand Finals at the end of the year. Both players 25 years old. And according to the world ranking there, it says for doubles, #1 in the world. Men's doubles quarterfinals, they played at the Swedish Open in 2016, and in this tournament here, took out Zhang Jike and Ma Long. Had a chance to talk to the pair before the match with a little bit of humor to loosen them up. Said, oh, why don't you play to the forehand or the backhand? Those are definitely weaknesses for Ma Long and Zhang Jike. Of course, we all laughed, and they said sure, and ended up winning the match. Obviously with different strategies. Masataka Morizono, 21 years old. Yuya Oshima, 22. Now the most, I would say, well-stretched national association on the World Tour, from what I've seen, is the Japanese team. They have their stretching mats all the time ready to go. Physio, the physical therapy around, bags of ice. I see Yuya Oshima walking around with bags of ice on his ankles and everything else. And this is the road to how they got here. Both sides undefeated. Beating Chinese Taipei in the first round for the Japanese pair, and after that, the Belgian pair, Robin Devos and Cedric Nutink. And on the other side, it was the top Chinese pair, of course, early on, but that was before the quarterfinal. After that, they faced Swedish pair of Per Garell and Anton Kjellberg. After that, Tristan Flor and Emmanuel Lebesson. The French pair, who also had quite a strong victory earlier on in the tournament. So a lot of strong doubles pairs coming from all over the world. From Europe, and of course these two from Japan. At the World Championships in Suzhou in 2015, had match points against Zhang Jike and Xu Xin, who ended up becoming the champions. Deep push into the body, Morizono trying to get around for the step around loop with the forehand. Beautiful flip, the short game, taking advantage of that long reach to get in quickly. Look at this down the line shot, Kristian Karlsson, quick off the bounce. Again, it's still very early in the game, but a very positive start for the Swedish pair. Set up right in the backhand corner, waiting for that shot.
1-3.
First point for the Japanese pair. Bit more underspin on it. Karlsson a little late to take it off the bounce in the short game. Down on the ground, look at this. As predicted, the Japanese pair not afraid to fall down for the shot to get out of the way, to get the upper body out of the way. Watch Morizono, look at this ball, it's at the opposite shoulder, and he still manages to make a forehand out of it. And a quick 3 points, starting off for the Swedish pair, come right back to the Japanese pair. For Mattias Karlsson, this flat-hitting forehand game tends to end points, but because it's a bit flatter with those short pips, a little bit less rotation, the ball, I'd say, is a little bit lower percentage shot than some of the loops, maybe his backhand side or Kristian Karlsson's forehand for that matter. A lot of power with the down-the-line shot from Kristian Karlsson. A little bit more security on that backhand loop than the forehand flat hit from Mattias. See, he hesitates a little bit to hit it hard with the lower ball. Such a flat shot is going to be difficult to make, so he slows down the shot. But as a penalty, quickly, Yuya Oshima takes advantage of the slower pace. Hits a ripping winner. Outstanding ball, Masataka Morizono. After all the side spin was introduced by some of these backhand blocks, first right there in the Chiquita from over the table, with the arm behind the head for Morizono. Side spin on it from Karlsson, but, and by Karlsson I mean Mattias, but Kristian Karlsson's shot just a little bit clean, and Morizono very comfortable to take it for the winner. Well placed. Yuya Oshima out wide to the forehand of Kristian KARLSSON. Kristian KARLSSON got so far out on the side that coming back in was a little bit of trouble in this rally. It's the fine balance in playing doubles, making sure you're out of the way but not too far to get back.
5, 6.
Well placed deep push, just like in the start of the game. It's going to be a difficult ball every time. Ball just left a little too high on the table. Yuya Oshima there for the quick attack. The second towel break of the game. The Japanese pair in control with an encouraging lead, but nothing too comfortable, just by 2 points as the Swedish pair try to find their attack game, get in early in the point. Excellent combination, a long push from Kristian, and Mattias follows up down the line, the parallel shot. Let's see it one more time here. Takes some real confidence to let MORIZONO get that opening attack from the backhand corner rather. Both players and both teams actually playing so well. Clever shot there. That was the shot for me when Kristian KARLSSON left it short on the forehand side. But solid improvisation from the Japanese pair to counter it out wide to the forehand. Again, jamming up the court between Mattias and Kristian. Second bounce on the table, a perfect length from Kristian KARLSSON. MORIZONO trying to steal the ball from over the table. Just a little bit too far out in front. There's the flat hit, the short pips crushing shot to the length of the table. This is Mattias KARLSSON's best weapon. It's a unique shot. Not too many players in the men's game are using short pips on the forehand side. The wrist action from MORIZONO, but still no problem in that cross-court counterattack with the short pips. It's not the first time we've seen Yuya Oshima, when given time, just have too much power to be controlled. Kristian KARLSSON trying to stay close to counter it back. From that distance, it's going to be very difficult. 1 point lead for the Japanese pair, still in game one. This is too good. MORIZONO way out wide. Kristian KARLSSON exploiting the down the line shot way wide to the forehand. All starts with the flip from Mattias. There have to be so many outstanding action shots with these two flying around behind the table. Just relentless efforts from the Japanese pair. And there's the touch, a bit of tomahawk, a chop from Kristian KARLSSON, some side spin on it. Look at this ball. Like almost solid side spin. A little bit misread, not enough lift. I think Masataka MORIZONO thought there was a little bit more topspin on the ball. And it's the counterattack from Kristian KARLSSON wide to the forehand. Once again, the Swedish pair take game one against the top seeds, Yuya Oshima and Masataka MORIZONO. What a game one it was. It feels like the battle's only just begun. Game two coming up right after this. Back for game number 2, Mattias and Kristian KARLSSON leading 1-0 over Masataka MORIZONO and Yuya OSHIMA from Japan. Kristian KARLSSON here. His forehand has been quite impressive so far, playing wide to the forehand of MORIZONO. Now for the two KARLSSONs in blue and yellow, these are two players who in the last 3 years have really broken out to show the world that they're a serious threat. Kristian KARLSSON in 2014, Mattias KARLSSON in 2015. And it's backhands like that that make it no doubt that Kristian KARLSSON has the potential to be one of the top players in the world. Look how quick the reaction is here and how much power he gets on the backhand. Just a short backswing, snaps right through the ball. And even when he's running on the reach, still able to generate enough pace. Look at how extended Kristian KARLSSON gets here. Wide cross court ball, he's on one foot, he's on the run. He's got the placement too. Excellent court sense from pretty much everybody out here. Kristian KARLSSON's demonstrated it on a few occasions. Now one thing I wouldn't be surprised to see is Mattias KARLSSON has outstanding touch in the short game on the receive. Wouldn't be surprised if he tries to set up some shots for Kristian KARLSSON. Oh, turn too early. Kristian KARLSSON anticipates. And Masataka MORIZONO with a quick improvisational decision there. See him start to turn as soon as Kristian KARLSSON turns the corner.
2, 3. 4, 2.
Success with it once before. Side spin tomahawk forehand. Sometimes you get a sense, even a false sense, that something might work a lot, like winning a point lobbing. At the same time, if you can consistently do it, it's not bad to go back and try again. We'll see if Kristian KARLSSON ends up using that again throughout the match or not.
5, 2.
Attempting the short game right there with the forehand.
3, 5.
It's also interesting to see Mattias KARLSSON, by far the tallest player on the court right now, which means he's got the biggest middle to cover. Yet still the opponent's trying to attack his wide wing. Look at this footwork. OSHIMA with a beautiful loop back and an even better one to the short side of the table from Mattias KARLSSON to take the point. This is the quality of point we all love to see. OSHIMA so good from behind the table, chasing down the ball. Clever idea, but just not enough forgiveness to the shorter side. It's the right idea for KARLSSON though, and with the spin of his backhand, he can count on himself making the shot a bit more. That is such a fast shot. Perfectly played into the middle. This is the recipe for me. OSHIMA attacking the middle, the crossover point for Mattias KARLSSON. For those of you working in feet and inches, Mattias KARLSSON's got to be about 6'4". Maybe about 195 centimeters. Just doing a little math, could be wrong there.
4, 8.
So the Japanese pair at the second towel break with a, I would say, an encouraging lead here, a 4-point lead. Still no guarantees at this point. We've seen greater comebacks. Look at this down the line shot. KARLSSON hooking it in. Now remember, they are playing the champions, not only World Tour Grand Final champions of the past, but also India Open last week. Outstanding tournament for these two Japanese players. Outstanding tournament, period. Down the line
9,
shot, Oshima with a
5.
quick apology. Not sure if it caught the top of the net. Let's see one more time here. Back edge of the table is what it caught, changing the trajectory of the bounce. Oh, again,
10,
2 edges.
5.
As they say, the ball is round. Table tennis karma, even though it's a shorter match, best of 5, have to imagine that some of the luck will come back or even out throughout the match. And that
11,
is just
5.
100% beauty out there. Forehand counterattack, deep to the forehand side. Just one more time, cross court. Oshima, the ball is gone all the way to the barriers. So game 2, the Japanese pair take with authority, 11-5, and we'll be back game 3 coming up right after this.
Vänta lite med klockan.
Serve the game. La Vol.
Nice gesture there. It sounded like Mattias KARLSSON letting Masataka know he had some sweat on his racket. Oh, put it in the top 10 right away. Look at these shots, inside out forehands. Kristian KARLSSON touching the ground here. Japanese pair getting a bit of taste of their own medicine, but still not enough to be overpowered. Even that backhand from Mattias KARLSSON bending away, still chased down. Set up for the behind the back shot. Oshima trying to recover as he sees his balls going behind him. But Mattias can't put it into play. I can't believe how easy that shot looks for Yuya Oshima. Look at the placement here. He's got a short pip spin shot from Mattias KARLSSON and really gets his weight forward. Let him go. Stepping around the ball too. As strong as Mattias and Kristian are together, Yuya Oshima and Masataka MORIZONO have a strong history of playing incredible doubles. Had a strong chance to be the world champions in 2015.
5. No.
You would not be surprised to see them at the World Championships again this year in Dusseldorf, fighting for the title. Again, individual play versus doubles, quite different. You could be playing the 2 best players in the world. And 2 of the best players in the world were playing Mattias and Kristian in this tournament before they knocked them out.
5.
First point for the Swedish pair at the first towel break. Now, I think it shows a lot of creativity and also flexibility mentally, mental strength for Mattias KARLSSON if he's able to use the backhand a bit more, because his forehand is often the key ingredient. The backhand comes right into play, a bit more controlled with the spin. And it's not to say that his backhand is weak. His backhand is very strong, simply that the forehand is so unusual for most people that he has a lot of advantage playing with it because people aren't quite as familiar prepared to handle the shot. KARLSSON puts in all the power on the backhand, and it comes back quickly to Mattias KARLSSON. MORIZONO staying pinned in the backhand court, but changing up the placement. Such a fast reaction. Well-deserved fist pump from MORIZONO. This time a little bit softer ball left out in front of KARLSSON. Kristian KARLSSON, that is. Watch how far behind the table Kristian KARLSSON is when he goes for that last ball. Just a step behind. It's a little bit more shallow, and he's looking to create the angle, so he tries to take it from out in front. There's the soft touch in the receive. Look at that side spin from the short pips. Mattias KARLSSON bending the wrist back, staying flexible. Again, with all that wingspan, quite impressive. That right there was a big point to break the streak. Masataka MORIZONO getting it over the table. Now in the short game, of course, quicker steps, but still tougher to cover ground. He's so fast to get across. Core and leg strength. Masataka MORIZONO quite strong. It's actually true of both of the Japanese players. There's not a physically fit, or not a player out there who isn't physically fit. But to make up for maybe the lack of height, the speed is definitely there.
9-4.
The strength indeed as they go up 5 points to 9-4. They're really doing an excellent job of disguising their shot too, keeping Mattias guessing on the next ball.
4-10.
Looking for a quick answer. Kristian KARLSSON's flip goes long. It's 6 game points for the Japanese pair. Not as much underspin as there appeared to be on that shovel serve. Looked almost somewhere between a tomahawk and shovel, the angle that Kristian KARLSSON came into it with.
11.
This time goes for a bit deeper underspin serve. Finds the net, game to the Japanese pair. 2 games to 1 for the lead. We'll be back in game 4 in just a moment. Stay right here.
Masataka, MORIZONO, and Yuya OSHIMA. They take the third game 11-5. They lead by 2 games to 1.
Back for game number 4, the Japanese pair in pink and black in the lead, 2 games to 1. This is a best of 5, so if the Japanese pair takes this game, they will be the champions 2 weeks in a row in men's doubles. Strong start, they're fired up. Kristian KARLSSON there, wiping the racket, making sure the top sheet is clean for all the spin he needs, the traction to make sure he gives it back. Mattias with the serve. That's the way to do it. This time he recalibrates, stays closed, but stays over the ball, the weight forward to really keep the topspin down. Out in front, excellent use of the wrist, still adding his own speed to the ball. This is the forehand that helped take game one for the Swedish pair. Kristian KARLSSON from the middle of the table after the Japanese pair gets a step behind. Mattias KARLSSON setting it up with the placement to back MORIZONO off the table. Ooh, where did this come from? Right off the bounce, racket up high, inside out forehand. This seemed like it might have been trouble for Kristian KARLSSON. Definitely not a high percentage shot, but he makes it with a short stroke, goes risky. Just like the ball, look at MORIZONO getting out of the way just in case.
3-0.
That slow motion shot of the ball whizzing over the shoulder of Masataka MORIZONO would have been one of the most amazing shots we've seen if OSHIMA gets one more loop back on the table. Of course, reaction time. A lot of people ask, how do these players react so quickly? Getting familiar with patterns, but also understanding what is most likely to come back as soon as you hit your shot helps with the anticipation and the prepared factor for these players. Right into the body. There's the power from OSHIMA to finish the point. Just a 1-point lead for the Japanese pair. The Swedish again fighting to stay alive and send this to a deciding fifth.
Timeout.
Timeout on the side of the Swedish pair now. Gonna have a chance to chat with their coach here. Figure out what will make them most effective to shut down this looping game. From early in the point, you can see that both Mattias and Kristian were sort of chasing to try and get control back, but didn't get the opening attack. The one's off balance a bit. The best matches I've seen from Mattias KARLSSON, both singles and doubles, his backhand has been the key ingredient for me. He's been so effective in controlling it. And sometimes having something different like pips on the forehand side of your racket makes your opponents a bit more hesitant to play to the forehand. They're more comfortable playing to your backhand because at least they're familiar with the spin, or the rubber anyway, which means that Mattias KARLSSON will have more opportunity, a little bit more predictability for where the ball is coming. And he does have so much control with that backhand. And standing quite tall, still being loose, definitely can create power. This is a good recipe for me too. The short touch, as I mentioned earlier in the match, the short pips receive from Mattias KARLSSON to set up Kristian KARLSSON with a step around forehand. I think I was quite impressed. It might have been Austria Open 2 years ago.
4-5.
Mattias KARLSSON's receive game is very strong in the short game. Touch ball, the short pips. Now, even though in doubles you have to serve cross court, there's still a decent amount of table space to work with. You could play it a little bit more to the middle of the table or off wide, deep and short. I think Mattias and Kristian are going to have to use the service with a bit more surprise, get specific on their placement. The big backhand, spinny and low deep on the table. A 1-point game. The KARLSSONs still have a chance here. Yesterday we saw Fangbo using the long serve so effectively to keep his opponent in check. Same thing here in doubles. I think that both Yuya OSHIMA and Masataka MORIZONO have gotten quite comfortable receiving over the table with the banana. Outstanding point. That shot from Mattias KARLSSON way wide on the forehand side. Where did this come from? This shot was unrecognizable. Remember, he's got short pips on the forehand side, so this flat hit. That one right there, he was almost behind Kristian KARLSSON. Can't believe he avoided his teammate for that shot. And then the spinny backhand from down low to finish it off. Down on the ground, no chance to get back up, but he goes all in, all chips on the square. The breakdance move from Kristian KARLSSON for the heavy spin forehand. Look at this one more time. That's what it takes to get the body out of the way sometimes, and why you've got a teammate there. For Kristian KARLSSON, he knows. Look at that. What an outstanding move.
Seven, all.
That's the middle again. Advantages and disadvantages of being a tall player, but playing it right into the body, the crossover point for Mattias KARLSSON is going to be successful a little bit more often, especially if he's on the move. This is hitting it into the body behind the momentum.
Seven.
Now in doubles, just like in singles, predictability is not to your advantage. There needs to be some element of surprise here. The Swedish players, if they want to send this to the fifth, they're going to have to fool, going to have to disguise a bit their shots. Excellent use there of the long push, a bit of surprise, as mentioned, deep into the backhand corner. As fast as MORIZONO is, the quality of that push made it very difficult to step around.
8 all.
Softer ball from KARLSSON. The net early on in the rally, but neither team, neither side seemed too flustered. They were both able to keep their composure. Well played from Kristian KARLSSON. Again, leaving the ball out in front of Yuya OSHIMA to change the timing. Catch him slightly too far back.
9 all.
Now at the third towel break of the game, we the fans see that it will be only 2 points that decide game number 4 and potentially the outcome of this match. MORIZONO so consistent with that backhand Chiquita receive. It's a little bit late to get in. Mattias KARLSSON doesn't get the short ball back. It is championship point for the second week in a row for Yuya OSHIMA and Masataka MORIZONO. There it is, the top seeds at the top of the podium, and the huge show from two very hard-working pals out there and doubles partners. Masataka MORIZONO and Yuya OSHIMA outplaying two good friends on the Swedish side, Kristian and Mattias KARLSSON, no relation. And what a performance it was. Some outstanding points, explosive power, and very physical play. But the top seeds from Japan have lived up to their expectations and taken the title 2 weeks in a row. Would not be surprised to see them at the World Tour Grand Finals and serious contenders for any doubles title of any doubles event that they enter right now. Masataka MORIZONO and Yuya OSHIMA, the team to beat in doubles. Enjoy a little recap here and stick around because we've got the women's singles final coming up. And after that, we've got the men's singles final, both of which should be quite exciting. Stay right here. You're watching the Seamaster 2017 Qatar Open.
10-9. When you 11-5 game. MORIZONO. One, 2-5. Seven, 6. 11-9 game. MORIZONO and OSHIMA.
So 6 seconds.